Hey, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, and share the video with someone. Today, I want to just take a moment to reflect on yesterday. Yesterday was the 8th day of January 2025, and we started the year off pretty rough. Started off with President Carter, death of President Carter. In fact, today is the 9th, and he's being memorialized. Actually, he was this morning, and I had the opportunity to watch the funeral via television, and my heart goes out, and my condolences go to the Carter family. That's one of the things that happened. And then, of course, yesterday and over the past couple of days, there was a fire, and still going on right now in Los Angeles, southern Los Angeles County, Ventura County, particular Woodland Hills, Pasadena, Calabasas, Altadena, the Palisades, and a lot of other areas that I haven't named, but canvas in those areas, devastation happened because of those fires. My heart goes out to them. And also, I understand there were 2 people who lost their lives. Look, it is so important, it is so imperative that once we receive notification from the authorities, those people who are examining what's going on with these fires, and they see what is happening, they're predicting what is liable to happen. May or may not happen, but may happen is the thing. In California, in many of these areas that we live in, there are one way in and one way out because of mountains and highway structures and the way the whole city was designed. California, Southern California, in particular, was designed not necessarily for evacuation. It wasn't designed, the infrastructure was not designed for water retention. The water runs back to the ocean instead of being run to more and more reservoirs to keep water for drinking and for if we have emergencies and things of that nature. Our water usage, consumption with the supply is supply cannot keep up with the demand because of the influx of people who have moved to California in the past 2 to 3 decades. But back to this fire situation, look, when you are told to evacuate, evacuate. I know you love your home. I know that you have made memories in there. You know, I know that you have history, but your house it can be replaced. Your life cannot be replaced. When these people say get out, get out. The area that I live up in a higher elevation in Southern California, right? So if there's flooding, there's less chances or less likely that where I live that, that I would get flooded out. But anything can happen. When you're told that you should evacuate, you should have a go bag. It's a bag that you have the things in it. So, you have a flashlight. You have a change of clothes. You have cosmetics or the basic things that you need. Not cosmetics, but toiletries. Things that you're going to need. Deodorant, soap. Have things like that, a blanket, some matches, a cigarette lighter, candle. Things that you will need in the event that you have to get up and go. If you have children, have a go bag for your children. If you have animals, have a go bag for your animals. If you have flowers or precious jewelry, have that stuff set up in a place that you can take it. Some people have, believe it or not, exotic plants, right? And they may choose the plants over clothes. Or they, I was joking with a friend of mine who lived in the area of Altadena and Pasadena area. And I spent the entire day with them, the whole family yesterday. They lost everything. The car, the Maserati, the house, the boat, the Harley Davidson. All of these things were consumed in that fire, but they were able to get out, the whole family. And I joke with them because they have a dragon. They call a dragon is an animal, a reptile, something like an iguana. And I said, jokingly, I said, well, it's so important that you get the family out. And I said, when I was talking to the children, I said, would you rather get yourself out or would you rather get the animals out? And, the father jokingly said, I think with knowing my kids, they would rather choose their pets. So, kids, they don't understand things like that. But as parents, we have the responsibility to take care of our children, to take care of our families. The grandfather of that family, he spoke about his football trophies. He spoke about his jerseys and his married pictures. And he talked about when they first moved in the house and they raised their children in that house and all of the memories that they had in the house. But one thing that he said that really resonated with me and really touched my heart is when he said to his family, you know what? And he called his grandchildren in and he was having a tearful moment. And he hugged them and he said, when one of the grandchildren, well, two of the grandchildren were complaining about one lost his bicycle in the fire and one lost her jersey, sports jersey in the fire and some shoes, favorite shoes she had. And he hugged them tightly and he said, we'll get all of these things back. We'll get better. We'll have a better home. It's going to take us some time, but we will rebuild. And I pulled the children aside. It's 4 of those children, and I pulled all 4 of them to the side, and I began to have a conversation with them. And I told them, you can rebuild these things. You will rebuild this. You will have these things. Just like your grandfather said, try not to cry so long and understand that it's going to get better. And I said to them, don't be selfish in this matter. And just thinking about your shoes and your toys and your jersey and your bicycle and things like that you've lost. You see, because your parents are going through this too. And they were the ones that provided these things for you. And they lost everything. And I said to them, you see, you are young. All of these are elementary children. I believe one is in middle school. And I said to them, I said, look, listen, you may have lost the things that you lost and you're going through the things that you're going through. But your parents have never been their age with children your age going through this and being homeless. So have some grace. And it reminds me, my wife often tells me that. She'll say, she had a rough day at work and she'll come home and she's in a bad mood. And I might, kind of boost back up and say, I don't like the way you're treating me. And she would say, I've had a rough day. It has nothing personally to do with you, baby. It's the day that I've had. Give me a little grace. And she's taught me a lot about grace. And baby, I know you're watching this video. You always watch my videos, and I thank you for the love and support that you give me. Thank you for the insight that you've given me through the years that we spent, the joy, the comfort, the peace in our home, the respect that you have for me, and I tried my best to resonate that. And thank you for supporting me and allowing me to do what I do and making these videos and going out and supporting other families and building families and taking time away from you and our family. I appreciate you for giving me the grace in doing that. And sometimes when clients, don't do what they say they're going to do, and I become a little bitter. Thank you for having that grace in me. I love you so much. Families and friends, it is so important that we remember the people in our very lives that are the very fuel that allows us to do the things that we do. So I just wanted to say, basically, this video kind of segued and made a little bit about me, but it's not about me. I hope that I used that example to show someone else how important it is to have patience, to have grace and to give grace, to show love and respect one another. But again, my heart goes out to these families, the children, the schools. I understand that several of the schools, surrounding schools, have burned down. And for children, this is a big deal. You know, for parents, you look at it as, well, now the children are going to be home and they're in the way while we're trying to rebuild. No. Don't make this all about you either. And make sure that you give your children the guidance that they need, give them the space that they need. Talk to them and find out what is going on in them. Because to be 9 years old and your school burned down, or 11 or 12 or 13 or 18, and you lose everything that you have. You know, first of all, you're trying to figure out who you are at that age because you don't know. You're trying to figure out who your friends are because you think everybody are your friends. You're trying to figure out who you're going to be in life, whether you want to be a nurse or a doctor, or you want to be an educator or a first responder, or if you want to be the president of the United States or a homemaker. Whatever it is that you want to be, you're trying to figure that out. And so we are all figuring these things out. You know, it was said to me one day that, you know, a parent that's raising a 16-year-old child, they don't know their child as well as they think they do. They knew that child. They know how to raise a 15-year-old, but they don't know how to raise a 16-year-old. And by the time they figure out how to raise a 16-year-old, the 16-year-old is 17. Because what worked today is not what necessarily will work tomorrow. I just kind of wanted to throw that in there. Again, one other thing, there were 2 people whose lives that were lost. Again, my heart goes out to those people. I do. My deepest and most sincere words and feelings of sympathy and condolences go out to those families who lost those loved ones and those who were injured. Physically injured. I'm not talking about injured as in the house burned down. The house is made out of wood, bricks, and glass, and maybe some metals used for whatever. That's all the house is, and that can be replaced. And if you got out of that house alive, and you're listening to this, watching this video, I'm talking to you. Look, you will rebuild. As I got those kids to say yesterday, we will rebuild. And that's what it's about. I plan to join in, to volunteer my time, myself, my mind, my heart to help rebuilding the community which I live in. And so those of you who were affected again, I'm sorry. I know that is not enough, but that is all that I can give right now, other than once I began to actively start volunteering. And if you are interested, if you're watching this video and you're interested in volunteering, drop a line in the comment and I'll let you know what I'm doing. If you live in the area, then perhaps you can come in and join with us and help this community to rebuild. We are hurting right now, but I believe if we show love and support to one another, we will get California back up and running again. We'll never be the same, but we'll be back up and running again. Godspeed to each of you. God bless you in your journey. I wish you nothing but the best, and I hope that this bad thing will permeate and open up a doorway, a gateway, to where the floodgates of heaven will rain down blessings on you much bigger than your heart, mind, and ego can conceive. With those words, I leave you. Peace and love. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.